I know I'm a little bit ugly right now, but I'm really feeling like filming for some reason, so I'm gonna do it anyway. Hello, it's Sarah, and today I'm going to do my November TBR. Now, one of my favorite booktubers is hosting Read Kids Lit this month, and I love this one. I save all of my middle grade books for reading in November. Now, I wouldn't say that all of my books are literature, as in heavy-hitting, crazy books. I take this to mean that you need to pick out your middle grade books and read them. So that's what I intend to do. And I will show you what I have on my potential TBR for that, and then I will move on to a few other things that I'm going to be participating in this month. I likely will be starting November with Spaced Out by Stuart Gibbs. This is the second book in the Moonbase Alpha series. I read the first one last year, I believe, in November, and this is the next one. And these are mysteries on people who live on the moon. So there's only so many places they can go. They live in like this pod. So I don't know where the murders can happen, but they're very funny. Stuart Gibbs is one of my favorite middle grade authors. He's a riot. One of the books that I really wanted to get to before the end of the year was The Glass Sentence by S.E. Grove. This is the first book in a trilogy that I own all of the books to at this point. And from what I can gather, every continent is a different time period, and it's some sort of mystery that they have to go, and so they go to different continents, and it's like the 1700s and in Europe, and it's like the 24th century in Australia, and you know, whatever, and they have to deal with all of this. So if I really love this and want to marathon the series, I will do that. But I'm only going to show you the first book, because if I'm not feeling it, then I won't continue on like immediately with the series. Now, this is very important because I do need to get to at least one of these this month, the Wings of Fire series. This is the first book, The Dragonet Prophecy, and this is a series by Tui T. Sutherland, and these are books about dragons. And that's all I know, other than my daughter is insisting that I read them, and my grandparents loved them. So if I feel like marathoning these, I will marathon all that we have. I believe 8 of them are out, and the 9th book is coming out in December, something like that. So potential here for a very long read. Some of the standalones that I have on reserve, if I need either a break or if I don't feel like reading the whole 8 books of the Wings of Fire series, are a couple from my favorite author, Chomp by Carl Hiaasen and Scat by Carl Hiaasen. He's very good. His writing is very good for taking me out of a slumpiness. I love satire and all of that. He's one of my favorite authors. I love his adult books, and I read Hoot and Flush with my daughter Naomi, and we loved and laughed through those. So I have these. And then potentially I have a book that was completely a cover by Cartwheel and Thunderstorms by Catherine Rundell. I don't really know what this is about, but it is a bit more hard-hitting with a moral as opposed to the fun books that I have prior to this. You can see the end papers are all very pretty and yellow, and it's a very pretty book. So if I'm feeling in the mood for something a bit more, then I have this on reserve. Now, I have a book that has been on my TBR for months and months and months that I still have not read as of yet. I will likely be reading this the whole month, but Tome Topple is also happening from November 18th to December 1st. This is all about reading books over 500 pages. So with that in mind, I have The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins, which I need to get to by the end of the year. I have to read this for my classics club, so this has to happen. If I happen to finish that, or need something else and want to be more involved in Tome Topple this time around, I also have a because it'll go with the middle grade as well. I have Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. This is over 500 pages. It is also a middle grade novel, and it is also about dragons, which are awesome. So that can apply. I probably will do more of a TBR once, if she makes challenges or something. I might try to see what I can do with that, because I have several large books to be read. For hashtag shakesalong, which another booktuber does, I say like it's me who's doing it. I would like to participate every month. Every month they take a week and read a Shakespeare play and talk about it on Twitter. And this month happens to be my favorite Shakespeare play, which I am thrilled to reread, Much Ado About Nothing. Love it. And I am going to get from the library another one that has the modern English on one side with the Shakespearean language on the other, because this worked very well for Macbeth this past month, even though I basically understand the story and I've seen it performed multiple times. As for my Goodreads clubs and groups and all of that going on this month, so far Bookroom Bitches is reading Salt to the Sea, which I've already read, but I can definitely comment on that discussion. Some of the other things that they're reading are I'm not interested in, but there is one that they're reading that I am interested in and have not read, which is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. I think I will be reading this with them this month. And catching up on classics is planning to read Lady Susan by Jane Austen, and I am not sure whether I have read this or not. So I was going to try to make an effort to grab that, because it is either a short story or an unfinished novel, I cannot remember, and try to get to that, because I do love Jane Austen. I've read everything else by her, I just cannot remember whether I've read Lady Susan or not. So we will rectify that this month, I hope. We will see if any other challenges or readathons or anything else ends up happening between now and November starting that I can participate in, but I seem to be pretty full this month. So I will look forward to talking to you later and letting you know what I ended up getting to. So I will see you later. Bye-bye.